Well, you know, the Founding Fathers may have created it to forestall any complications. But now a prominent Democratic lawmaker is calling for the end of the Electoral College. That, of course, a reaction to Hillary Clinton's stunning loss to Donald Trump. Democratic California Senator Barbara Boxer, an avid Clinton supporter, yesterday introducing legislation to scrap the venerable voting system, calling it antiquated. Our next guest feels exactly the opposite way, writing an op-ed piece in the Wall Street Journal titled "The Electoral College is anything but outdated," saying, quote, "The Electoral College continues to recognize that Americans vote by state in the same way that they elect the Senate and the House, and the same way that they voted those many years ago to ratify the Constitution. But now there is a national movement to require that electors support the presidential candidate who wins the national popular vote." What about that? Joining us now is the author of that article, Larry Arnn. He's president of Hillsdale College in Michigan, who's joining us from campus. President Arnn, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Let me first start with the petition on change.org. About 4.5 million people have signed that petition calling for an end of the Electoral College. They want the college to anoint Hillary Clinton as president when they meet on December 19th because she received 1 million more votes than Donald Trump. Why do you say that they are wrong?
Well, those are foolish people, at least in this respect. First of all, just think what the United States of America achieves and has to achieve. It controls a wonderful land going all the way across a continent, and it spread across that land without benefit of colonies. And that's because people can control things in their states and exercise their very important control over the federal government through states. And so it's a shame that Donald Trump didn't get the popular vote. But think what it would be, what a shame it would be if the president could be elected from 10 pockets of population. They'd be like capitals, maybe like in the Hunger Games, and the rest of us would be like colonies, right? So it matters where people live in America, and the whole country gets represented. Another point is now the people who live out in the Midwest and the places that voted for Trump, they have to talk to the people in the cities and vice versa. The election was very close. If you could just get a concentrated interest in 10 populous places, they'd stop talking to the people in the Midwest, and that wouldn't make anybody happy. It wouldn't be one country.
You have a point, because the Founding Fathers saw that because of the different populations in states, Rhode Island, Delaware versus, now Texas or California, that's an issue. I mean, Donald Trump even said in one of his tweets that you're dealing basically with California, New York, and Illinois. But let me show you, because beauty's in the eye of the beholder. This is what he said in 2012 when Mitt Romney lost. I mean, he was slamming the Electoral College. He said, quote, "The Electoral College is a disaster for democracy." And then, of course, after his victory, he says the Electoral College is actually genius in that it brings all states, including the smaller ones, into play. Campaigning is so much different. What would you fear if there wasn't an Electoral College? That the smaller states and other population areas would not be represented, and it would be a tilted, one-sided system?
Yeah, that's right. I would fear exactly that, right? Whereas instead, it's a great national conversation about people who live in lots of very widely different places and have differing views. So the Donald Trump today, we all learn while we go, and I will volunteer, that there's some very important things about the Constitution that Donald Trump has been consistent on for a long time. This one seems like a technicality when you first hear about it, but it's like the whole way the Constitution works, the way the Constitution itself, in fact, was ratified. And you want to build a great national majority spread across the whole land. And of course, the Electoral College vote and the popular vote never diverge very much. And the 5 people who've been elected president without winning the popular vote all got very close.
Grover Cleveland, Samuel Tilden, Hillary Clinton, Al Gore among them. So what do you think should happen, and what are you calling for on December 19th when the electors from different states actually meet?
They should do their duty as it is established both in law and in custom. Most states require by law that the electors vote for the person who won the popular vote in that state, and they should continue doing that. But also remember this, you called it venerable. Just think what a miracle it is that you can appoint a great executive powerful enough to rule the most powerful nation on earth and one of the biggest ones, and have him be accountable to the people he governs. We have the oldest successful system for doing that, and people want to change that. That's just so much hubris to me.
Professor Larry Arnn of Hillsdale College, thank you so much, and you just made a wonderful point. When you think about the intelligence and the foresight and the insight of our founding fathers, whether or not you agree or disagree with the result of this election, for them to have fashioned the type of constitutional system that this country, our values, and our democracy rely on. President Arnn, thank you.
Thank you.